Happy Monday, and what a weekend it was for lots of auto racing, really. And I enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I thought it was a good one. And there was a lot of stuff, that we learned. There's a lot of things that we actually learned, whether it's people and their racing abilities, what the new car can deal with, complainers like what the 250 was could do. 'Cause it's the first time they've been in action for a long time for Supercross. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in there across all of them. And I was, super, super like excited about most of it. I don't know how a lot of people feel. It's not, I think most people agreed that the racing at road, at the Circuit of the Americas there on the road course, street course, technically, but it was as they designed it after. But I think that was great racing the whole time. Restarts were good and people were still racing here, there, and everywhere all weekend, which is what we need. Exciting stuff. And again, some of those cars were taking beatings and were able to keep going, which is super because you saw some of the people do some of the stuff that we've seen in the new Cup car in prior seasons, and the whole race was over, boom, done immediately. So, really, really good that the new car could take a beating. In my opinion, they needed to make sure that was a thing in the Cup Series. So good on them because it worked, which is great. But get started, we'll get to the two. The first non NASCAR race of the weekend, because I just find it weird again to go in order, because then there'd be just, Supercross and F1 in between, the NASCAR races, which is weird. But Supercross was good. They went out to Seattle, and the 250 West again was in action for the first time, in a couple weeks. And it was good to, see fresh faces and everything after, weeks of seeing the same guys. It was good to see them, back in action. And got to see, a lot about them all on the track like that. I love the track and, everything they did there. I love seeing football stadiums with, the tracks in there, though. There's just something, about it, especially outdoors, the slight, little rain they had there because, they're in Seattle. Who's surprised that there was rain, really? But it was just really cool to see it outdoor. I don't know, there's just something about it. Don't get me wrong, the indoor ones like at Arlington was great, but there's something about seeing, what they could do to those stadiums and all the things that all these stadiums could really be used for all over the place. I talk about grassroots where like you could, do all kinds of different stuff in them. So that's probably why I like it the most. But 250 Heat won. Craig won that one. Hunter Lawrence finished second. When I say Craig won over Hunter Lawrence, I mean Craig won. Won. He was out there. They're still good racing. And yes, Hunter Lawrence is Jet Lawrence's older brother. Jet runs in the East, Hunter runs in the West. And both very talented, super talented from what, we're all seeing what's happening. So good to, see him up there in second in the heat. Freeze won the 250 Heat 2 in his first career heat win. And Thrasher was second. They had a hell of a race. And Freeze held on to it over Thrasher by 1500ths of a second, which was astronomical. Who's going to get it off the last turn? It was really good racing there at the end. So even if you don't watch it all, like watch the last little bit of, the second heat race from the 250s, in Seattle, because that was amazing. Like, again, one guy won by a mile. This guy won by 1500ths. Like, that was really, really good. 450s heat one, Barsha won. Sexton wasn't racing because of a wreck earlier in the day. We know he was already banged up. So, just a week off, or maybe even another one, just to heal up. Nothing wrong with that because he has been taking a severe whooping if you've been watching it. So, I'm okay with that. Jason Anderson and Eli Tomac get past, Malcolm Stewart late, but they finished 1, 2, 3 in their heat race, 250 LCQ. Lion Smith won, making the 7th different LCQ winner this season in the 250 West, which, pretty actually, 250s. That's great. 7 different LCQ, winners. There's a lot of people getting up there and doing their thing. That's a good thing. Short one to 450 LCQ after Morans goes off track in the lead, and he went way off track. He looked like me playing a Supercross game. where I think everything's fine. He just landed right on, the bags, as I called them. But damn shame. Hey, Short got it. And then 250 main. Most of men got into Craig in the last turn to take the lead. It's an aggressive move when he did it. Craig went down to sixth. Hunter Lawrence gets the lead around halfway. And, see you later, bye with that one. But Craig did make it back up to second with about 6.5 minutes left to get it, and he stayed in second, which, good for him. And another interesting fact about the Lawrence brothers being Hunter and Jet, they've made the podium in 11 of the 12 races so far this season across, the East and the West. 250. It's like 11 out of 12. Only one race did one of them miss the podium, which is just fantastic. And that's really consistent and amazing when you think about it. Consistently being there that much, both of them. That's really, really good. I think, Lawrence seems to dominate, the East more than Hunter was doing there and that thing. Because, look at Jet last weekend. Yeah. Heat race, taken out. Turn one, he goes flying, almost gets run over and comes back and passes everybody and wins by a pretty decent amount, too. And that's only a 6 minute plus a lap race. So I think he's more the dominant of the two, but 11 out of 12 races that made the podium across the respective series. That's impressive stuff. So appreciate it and watch it if you can, because they're really that good. And I think there's really big things for them. Don't know how they're going to get up into the 450s and all that, but what they're doing right now, they're showing that they have the talent to be able to do it. It's depending on, when, if they ever do it. Then the 450 main, Barsha goes down hard. Hard from second around halfway through. Tomac wins his fifth straight by a mile. He was gone. So that's 5 in a row. Good on him. Setting all kinds of records, really moving up the leaderboard with wins. He's right up there underneath field 40 some. Good on him. And he's in the zone right now. So when someone's in that big of a zone, when there's even races where, they have to have some, the leader have dumb luck, like right in front of them, like at Daytona, when the slower bike pulled over, except, because he saw Tomac coming and the leaders were coming. He just didn't know he's pulling down directly in front of who was leading the race. So Tomac got the, or I'm going to go through and, past people. Like, he's getting it done. 5 in a row is amazing. So good on him. And Jason Anderson gets second and Mosquin gets a third. And again, it was good racing. I don't think anyone's going to touch, Tomac the rest of the year. Sorry, guys. I just don't see it happening. But he's just in a different level right now. He's in a different, he's in a zone, just like Jet Lawrence in the 250 East. Like, again, how many times do you see a race where it starts 6 minutes plus a lap, goes down in the first turn on lap one, goes flying through the air, starts out last 18th, whatever, and manages to pass everyone and win by that much, like Jet Lawrence and Eli Tomac, respectively, across their two series, are in different worlds. And there's nothing you can really do about that except try to get better. But right now, they just, to do what they're doing, they are in a zone. And we all appreciate seeing people that deserve it in the zone. And Eli's all around, a good guy. I never really see anyone say anything bad about him or Jet. So I'm happy for both of them. They don't do it by wrecking people or doing anything like that. So again, even better for them. So it was good to see Anderson back up there. We saw, Malcolm Stewart, have his races here and there, and Anderson was still up, so it's good to see them make it through another race, really, him and, Anderson and Stewart, without getting into each other after those 2 or 3 weeks that they had, where they were getting into each other. It just seemed every time they turned around, they were right there and bad things were happening. It's amazing how that works out in auto racing across the board. It really is. Look at NASCAR. F1, the people no matter what, the people that you were, most competitive with and have problems with, for some reason you turn around and they're right there. So good on them, and I hope it continues, for the rest of the season, just so we can see good racing and not them just taking each other out. We'll see. Moves on to F1, the Saudi Arabian GP. They kept it on after, that missile attack, very close. It was 10 kilometers, miles, whatever it was, away from the track, which is always scary and all that. But the race did go on. I enjoyed a lot of it. First caution didn't come out until lap 16 when Latifi got into the wall. It was a pretty decent shot. And then it was just good racing and pits and all that until, lap 36. And then it just kept going from there. Daniel Ricciardo's car quit. I mean, and he made it all the way to right outside the pit wall on, like, literally right outside of pit road. On lap 36, caused a caution. Bottas goes to the pits and retires at the same time. Alonso goes out at the same time. He had no drive during that same virtual safety car. So we lost, Ricciardo, then Bottas and Alonso simultaneously, all in that one thing, which is, the damnedest thing. And also during that, the virtual safety car, you're not supposed to like close in on the guy. And Verstappen and the commentators seem to agree with me. So I think I got that rule right. But you're not supposed to close in on the cars in front of you during a virtual safety car. I mean, you could do that during a regular one. They get everyone back together, but virtual safety car, you're not supposed to close in. And Max Verstappen closed in like 4 seconds on Charles Leclerc during that virtual safety car, which again, I didn't think he could. And then during, the commentator said he's not supposed to, but he closed in a lot during it and got right like up to Char's bumper. And then, once he had the lead by the time the next caution, came out, it was amazing to hear Max on his radio complaining because Charles Leclerc was closing the gap on him. Like, he didn't just do it to him by like 4 seconds right before that. So I thought, that was kind of funny. He closed in 4 seconds. He closed in like 4 car lengths and you're throwing a fit. Yeah, but that's, again, there's people like that all the time, different personalities. We have all heard Max's, personality on the radio. If you ever watched any F1 or listened to it, like, he says some colorful things, but other than that, I mean, those two put on a hell of a race. And, those last couple laps, like Verstappen and Leclerc, they're passing each other left, right, and differently. And Max got the win by, 0.549 seconds, so a little over a half second. I mean, they were back and forth for, again, the last several laps. They were, one past one past the other, everyone making runs on each other. Like, it was really good. And they stayed clear the whole entire time. Like, they stayed clear of one another. And they stayed clean as well. Like, no one ran into each other. No one did anything, stupid or silly. Like, and they kept it, clean. Which in those cars, I mean, you really have to, but it was just, good. And then afterwards, the sportsmanship after it. So, I mean, at least there's, a very good level of respect between the two of them. And, that's really to see that good of racing when they stay, clear of all of their wings and everything else, tires, just racing clean to get the win like that on that track, which is a beautiful track, by the way. But that was, really good to see the level of respect between and again, all this new stuff with the F1 cars is supposed to help improve the racing quality. And if that's what that did, I'm all for it because they've had 2 good races so far. People are very racy with each other. So, I consider, a good thing so far, kind of like what they do with the Cup cars. I think it's, well, again, people are going to keep improving on, so we'll really see where everyone stands in F1 by the end of it. But so far, I mean, there's been better racing, even though it's really just been between the Ferraris and the Red Bulls. It's still good racing. There's people passing each other all the way through the field, which is good. But Leclerc got a second, Carlos Sainz third to round out. Last 2 podium spots for Ferrari. Magnussen, again, second race back, got another 9th for Haas, which got them points, which again, a long time. And then Lewis Hamilton rounded out the top 10. Again, we all know where the Mercedes are. Red Bulls and Ferraris said, well, sooner or later, they're going to get it. They're going to catch up. So we have to wait and see when it is going to happen. But Russell was up there, I think. Lewis Hamilton's team, I think, is like 4th, maybe 6th. And write him down. But he was up there. So he ran a little better, just like practice. You saw him way ahead of him. But when they figure it out, I mean, again, all new car, like the down on power with everyone, like, once they figure it out, which we all know they will, and everyone else is admitting they will, I think it'll be, even better. Because then if we could have a solid 3 teams, with just 6 cars, being able to compete and, be up there and racy the whole time, like, again, that'd be another good thing for the sport and help keep growing it here in the States and everywhere else. So we'll see where they go with it. I don't know. I think it'll be a good thing. I think it was a good thing. I think the racing was great. I was happy they got to keep it going even after, the attack over there in Saudi Arabia. So it'll be good. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, though, just to see what happens. But those Ferraris and Red Bulls are, mystifying. Ferrari has a big lead in the Constructors' Championship just because of how far back Mercedes is, and then Red Bull both have both their cars having a problem in the last 3 laps in the first race, just killed them in that. But I think it's going to be a really, really good one. Sooner or later, everyone has trouble. So we'll see where it goes from there. I liked it. Tell me if I'm wrong. That's why there's a comment section. Tell me if I'm wrong. But I liked it. And then we get on to the Circuit of the Americas, which I enjoyed all the races for the whole entire weekend. Again, I don't know about any of you, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, I thought there was great racing across the board. The restarts were nuts. A lot of people showed like some stuff, which that was one of my favorite parts. It's just how much some people showed that you just didn't expect. And improvement, just because it's road courses, it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's not everyone's thing. We all know that. You can't hold it against anybody because it's not their thing. But a lot of people showed really good stuff, and I was thoroughly impressed with a lot of it, and I was quite all right with a lot of it. It's like I was quite all right that I left my ringer on for some reason. But some things we learned, like Kyle Busch never won a road race in the trucks, which 61 wins. It's just hard to believe that he never did. And he probably should have had this one if it wasn't for what happened with 2 to go on that restart, but I'll get to it. Bowman made his 3rd ever truck start, which again, he's right down there on level of Matty D, except Matty D's doing the whole season now. Bowman's just sporadic stuff, so but he looked good. I mean, anyone that watched it, he looked good. 14 trucks went to the back of the field for adjustments before the race, which is a big number when you think of it, but there was a lot pretty much like across the board. A lot of people had to go to the back. But again, look how much, the 20-minute practice before qualifying, and then, ready, steady, go. So I had no problem with people doing that again. A lot of strategy can get you to the front of big old road courses, which was good. Zane Smith won stage 1 with Stuart Friesen in 2nd. Matty D was in 6th. Zane Smith won stage 2. Again, Matty D 6th. There was a lot of, people doing pit strategy. Which is why he kept, which is why he got some of those, just because the way people were pitting to get, before the end of the stage, just try to, cycle so they're back up front because stage points didn't matter. So that got him a lot there. But again, stages are, the way he's driving this year, those will go a long way and help him a lot if he keeps it up. And then, like I said, they start with 2 to go. Bowman goes under Friesen, like he was just driving in. There was 2 to go on the restart with ready, steady. It was time. It was go time. But they made contact both up into Kyle, and who was in the lead, who went really wide. He knew they were like, it looked like he knew he was there and he was trying to make a move, but it just didn't, work out for all of them. But 2 to go with that restart. Zane, Smith, that happens, goes underneath him and straight up steals the win for front row. And this is the 2nd straight year that the 38 front row truck won at Circuit of the Americas. Last year was with Todd Gilliland, who's moved on. And but think about it though. If it wasn't for, them making that move and Bowman going under there, that could have been, Kyle finally doing it. We know he's not done the trucks. We know he's going to be back out there again. And it still led to a great race. And again, who expected to see, the 38 front row truck winning for a 2nd year in a row, the second different, 2 different drivers? Like, that was impressive. Did Kyle have it? Yes. But did he get it in the end? No. But a lot of guys were up front there. I mean, Zane Smith wins. John Hunter finished 2nd. Kyle Busch 3rd. Bowman 4th. Ben Rhodes 5th. And sadly, Parker Kligerman went from 6th to 19th in the last couple turns. I don't know what happened, but they were showing, everyone up front, the battle for 2nd and all that. It was really exciting. It was really good. Again, there's a lot of young guys, and look who was up there, though. I mean, John Hunter, we all figured it. Zane Smith, I believe Walter told us to watch out for him. Ben Rhodes is good. Kligerman was up there. I said he was good, and I was excited to see him until all that happened there on the last run. And there was Kyle and Bowman, which Kyle probably should have won. And Bowman would have been right there, but those guys ran right with him, took advantage of a situation, and went. So you can't really be mad at him. Kyle didn't seem the happiest, but that interview went better than I thought it was going to after the race. If anyone watched it, I'm sure we were all waiting for him to just explode. But it was a good day for KBM. So, I mean, John Hunter finishing 2nd, Kyle finishing 3rd. So that might have helped a little bit, to make him less grumpy. But overall, I liked that race. I liked the Xfinity race, which had 8 people go to the back because of adjustments. So that brought the total to 22 just between, just on Saturday at the truck and Xfinity. again, you normally don't see that many, but big fast road course, hotter than was the whole time. 20 minutes of practice. They have qualifying. Like some of those people really needed to make adjustments, so they had to bite that bullet. But pit strategy and stuff can move everybody up and do all that. But I wanted to be at the meeting this morning. Junior Motorsports with Gregson spinning out Allgaier on lap 3. Allgaier, made a recovery. Allgaier's really good at road course. So I think he's violently underrated on road courses and as a driver in general, but he's always there, and that's the important thing. Great racing up front in stage 1. Dinger won that one. Surprised by AJ getting that. I certainly wasn't shocked by it just because we know how good he was. Cole Custer looked good. Like he was right up there pretty much in all the like he won at Auto Club. I believe it was Auto Club in Vegas for that team. He been running up front every time he drives in that car in the Xfinity Series, which I think he's out of, very close to out of races to run for it. But he was right up there. And it's a shame how it went down because he was too fast exiting with 2 to go in the stage. So, that cost him all kinds of track position and all that when he pit right before it ended. Sam Mayer got, the win in stage 2 with Jade Buford second. So good for that, team getting to do that thing and, getting to show what they can do because, again, small team road course, road course is an equalizer. Look through all the years where Kurt drove in, for like in lesser equipment, or Clint. And the reason they finally didn't finish right up front because they were running all day was because, something would break or something. Like road courses and, driver skill, like it's a great equalizer, kind of like short tracks. You see a lot of people everywhere. The new car is really helping in the Cup Series and all that, but it was good to see JB Ford up there. Chastain ran great all day until the restart with 6 to go. Then he went from being in the top 2 or 3 all day until that happened, but he made up for it on Sunday. And I will give Bubba Wallace credit until I think he had training issues where it wouldn't stay in gear. He was running right up there all day and looking very racy. Like compared to where he started, he was out there passing. He was making passes, outbreaking people. He looked really, really good out there. Now, that being said, he had his car troubles, so he ended up not finishing up as good as he ran at 80-90% of the race. He was up there until that, at least 3/4. I'll go with there. That's safe. 3/4 of the race, Bubba looked really good. So, as I get told, I never give him credit for anything, and I'm mean to him. Sorry, I just think Harvick deserves to be in the advertisements for NASCAR over Bubba because Harvick's past champion and all that, and Bubba's won 1 race. I think he should have to earn being in the advertisement like that. But another story, but he did look good. So good on him. I mean, again, he was in Gibbs equipment, but that doesn't make a difference. Like you can get put in good equipment and look really bad, and he didn't. So good on Bubba until that problem. And one for that problem, he could have been up there run. He would have been up there probably running for the lead because he was right there the whole day. I mean, he looked really strong. So it's a shame, especially him being in Gibbs equipment, to have problems like that. But those things happen to the best of people. I mean, look at Denny; he's blown a transmission and stuff this year. So it happens to everybody. So I can't talk trash about that. And it not staying in gear could be anything. But good run for Bubba until then. Jeb Burton and Jeremy Clements were right up there till they got penalties for cutting corners in the last 4 laps. So they both lost their top 5, which is a shame, especially for Jeremy Clements' team. To see where they were, small family, team, got that win in the rain. It was either Road America or Mid Ohio. I don't remember which. They're slipping and sliding all over God's creation that day. Got that. Jeb Burton getting the chance, running up there, showing what he could do. Things happen. Not cutting the corner, it was very close. A lot of times people were right there, and I was wondering if they were going to get penalized, but it happened to them. But there's more opportunities for them, so I got faith. And that race at the end, like I will say, you heard the tires literally like screeching as they were running around the thing because they were going so hard those last couple laps. But AJ got the win. It was good to see how happy he was, with him and his team celebrating all that. Because of how hard they work and all that. And it was you expect him to run good there, but he had a lot of people that were up there racing with him, like Chastain, and look at the race on Sunday between those two. Like Ross was good. Ross was up there, but Dinger got the win, and good for him because we all like AJ. Austin Hill second, good on him. Cole Custer finishes third, makes the comeback after the penalty early on, so good for him. Jay Buford he got an eighth. And that's got to be great for that team, being up there and doing that. So good on, like, that's very exciting. And it's a great day for them. Their sponsors, payouts, points, like that helps immensely with a lot, momentum, confidence, a lot. So good on them. And then Paluto gets ninth after, like sure what lap one. He had problems, fender, like he had all kinds of stuff going on. Comes back to get a ninth. So good on him. Very excited for him. And again, for AJ to get the win because where he started, his great fall, him coming back, like getting the opportunity to run for a championship, made the championship 4 last year. Yeah, it's very exciting for me as a Dinger guy, just because I like AJ. It's not about his, the energy he always has, and very excited for colleague and everything they do and what AJ's future, because I don't think he's anywhere near done. He's still winning, having too much fun. Like you see him after he wins, that passion is still very much there, and his desire to win. So I just hope he gets championship or and a bunch more wins before we finally have to go. But again, great racing again. Some dumb things, cost some people, but lots of people. I mean, Jade Buford looked good. Ross Chastain was up there until trouble. Bubba was looking good until then. Jeb and Burton and Jeremy Clements looking good. Like it was very, very good to see all of that. And it was the same thing for Deco Park Grand Prix there, for the Cup Series. Like, there was a lot of guys that you'd expect to run up there. Obviously, the same names. There's names you expect to be up there and do good, especially with the teams they're with. And there's teams. There's like, it's a road course. This is their one chance to look good, and there was a lot of that. There's some people that just got good runs and needed it, because they've been having one of those years. But it was good to see Suarez get stage one. I mean, this is what he grew up on down there in Mexico before he oversaw ovals. And he's just had bad luck. Like that's what's killed him in pretty much all the races where he's done bad. Well, Ross was up there. I mean, he was up there until just bad luck struck. So just like Eric Jones, I think he ran out of gas. He had something wrong in stage 2, but he bounced back too. Denny Hamlin gets stage 2. Bubba's going to lose his crew chief, I believe, more than likely for 4 races. That losing the tire with the whole wheel, 24 to go, which isn't good. But he didn't look nearly as good on Sunday as he did on Saturday in the Xfinity car. So it's a shame. Hey, I'll give him credit. He looked great on Saturday. Again, there's a higher level of driver and skill and all, like in Cup, and the gap between the teams. There's more teams that can win or run competitively every week, which also makes it harder. But he wasn't looking good, and he hasn't most of the season. But he did look good on Saturday. It's just a damn shame to see he has to lose his crew chief for 4 races, because that's going to make things interesting, and I think hamper them just a little bit for those races when he's not there, just because the experience they have together, just the chemistry of everything. Do I think they'll still run? I mean, obviously they're still going to run. Do I think they're going to get worse? No, but just building a rapport together and all that, it's going to be a shame to see him go. But he didn't look as good, sadly, on Sunday as he did Saturday. Another guy, Brad Keselowski, struggled. He got spun out when he was running in 27th by Ty Dillon, who was way back there. So, both of their struggles continue, which is, I know Brad will get it together sooner or later, new team, a team that was, behind already. And then they got the new car, and his teammate is running, way better than him. So, I don't know what's going on with all of it, but he didn't look good again. And the penalty and all that didn't help. The way he's running is not helping, losing those 100 points. So hopefully he figures it out soon, because I'd hate to see him like move over there and just do abysmal all year. No matter what you think about the guy, took a chance to, bring money into Roush and try to help it get better. And they've needed help. So, as much as he's hurt my head his whole career, I want to see him do good, and run him back there when he has lost 100 points and is all the way back to 35th. Like, that's not going to cut it. So hopefully they figure out whatever the hell is going on there. We go to, short track racing, and maybe, that'll be an equalizer and help him. But he's been spinning, just having really, really just bad luck and not running good. So hopefully it gets better. I mean, I really do. Again, no matter how much, I like or dislike the guy, take the chance to put money into Roush, try to help it get better, because they needed the help. I hope it turns around for him because he took the chance, and I want to see it, pay off again, just for Roush and the whole team in general, just because they have been down for so many years. It's not a Brad thing, but everyone likes the cat in the hat. I remember back when he had 5 cars. I can't even remember them all. Sure, Biffle was one, Mark was one, Jeff Burton was one of them, Chad Little driving the 97 for John Deere, and Kenseth. For the I'm sure I was wrong somewhere, so correct me in there, but I think that was all. I think that was the correct 5 until Carl Edwards got there and all of it. I want to see them do good just because it's been so long. So hopefully he does turn it around, regardless of how he goes. I just hope the whole team makes it come back, because his truck teams were good, which means he had something going on right. Keselowski on his own, so we'll see. I don't know. I just want to see them turn around finally. Logano, Kurt Busch, have troubles during a restart, and Larson, in turn 1 with 4 to go on a restart. Yeah, everyone kept going, and again, that was the one where if that was the old car, I mean, the way they all hit into each other and stuff, like they would have been dead, and the new car kept it up, and he might have been spraying rocks and dirt all over the place, but but it stayed together, and they got to keep running, which some of those hits they would not have been able to. So good on the new car. I mean, whatever they did to it, it does take a beating, regardless of what anyone tries to say or tell you. That car takes a whooping, a legit whooping. So that's a great thing. And then the ending of the race was one of the best, endings we've had. I mean, how far back AJ was going, to the back half of the track to get as close as he did, to even be able to, get under, to get, to move to get under him, to move him up the track, to even do anything to get into Chastain, for how big that gap was. Just going down that one thing showed how much AJ wanted it and his ability to drive under these things. And then going into the last turn there, there's, Chastain getting underneath Bowman and AJ in the last turn, coming off of it. Bowman slides way wide and still gets second. Sadly, AJ, spun in that process and got stuck in the rocks and went from, top 3 to 33rd. So I could see why he was upset about that. But it got Chastain his first career win finally, for how long he's been going for it. How long he's been driving in garbage equipment and all that, like, underfunded teams. Like, good for him. Like, would I've loved to see Suarez do it first? Yes, but does Chastain have way more experience on ovals than Suarez? Yeah, he does by a long, long shot. So good on him, though. There's the 3rd first-time winner this season, which is even better. Now we got Shocker, Cindric, and Briscoe. Remember, they were doing the Xfinity Series together, And now Ross Chastain. So good for them. Again, look at all the guys up there, the different teams up there in the top 10. Again, Ross Chastain for Trackhouse, Bowman. So there's Hendrick. Christopher Bell 3rd for Gibbs. Chase Elliott was 4th. Tyler Reddick for RCR 5th. Blaney in 6th for Penske. Truex also, Cindric. Eric Jones up there for GMS Petty. And Austin Dillon up there again for Childress, rounding out the top 10. Jones coming back and making that after whatever issue he had earlier on in the race was great. And again, a lot of different teams up there again. Some people had trouble there at the end and weren't up there. Some people weren't good like all day, but it was really, really, some people like, Keselowski and, Kurt just couldn't figure their car out all day, no matter what they did. But I thought it was really good racing all the way across the board. I mean, if anyone wants to tell me otherwise, I mean, you can. I'll respectfully listen to it. But I thought the racing, it was really good. The way AJ was able to just close in there and even try to get in there at the end. It showed that it was good racing. Like, it was really, really good. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was way better again. We'll wait and see how next year works out with it. Because we all, compared to last year, obviously it was better because the torrential downpours, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And we all saw Kevin run underneath someone because you couldn't even see him, stopped in front, all but stopped right in front of him. Even with the red blinky light. So compared to last year's, all we have to compare with, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The restarts were good. A lot of good racing. And again, you got to see a lot of people up there, which has been, the theme for the whole entire season so far is how many different, teams have people running up front at the end of the races. So all in all, again, good times. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I hope everyone else did too, because that was the point of putting them there. And I think it shows a different side of everybody, which again is also good. They got to be more technical and all that at street courses that are built for F1 cars. So overall, really good. Again, F1 had great racing and a great ending. Supercross, it was good to see the West, 250 West again. Tomac got fifth in a row. Like Lawrence brothers dominating on both coasts, like that's really cool. And it was a good weekend. Like there's a lot. I mean, there's more to come. It's gonna be a busy weekend this weekend coming up, but we'll get into all of that on Friday with Walter. And talk about all the upcoming races for the weekend. It'll be a busy weekend, but there's everything I have to do between this and the wrestling show because it's WrestleMania weekend. But it'll be a great weekend for auto racing and all kinds of things. So I'm really actually looking forward to it. No matter how much I'm going, ugh. Like I really think it's going to be cool. So for that, and all that, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, on all the platforms that you can. Videos, or YouTube and Rumble. Doesn't take all but a couple seconds to get on there. Hit the subscribe button. Whenever I post a video, just like it and put, a small comment on it if you watch it. Again, it just helps, more people notice it. Audio's on, Anchor, Breaker, Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. So jump on there and follow along if you have them. Yeah, subscribe. Don't forget to please just share everything out. Share out the audio, to everything you can to get more ears on it. I can keep track of all the audio, and I greatly do appreciate it because it does help keep it growing. Yeah, let me know what you think. Comment on all the stuff. Share them so more people can tell me what you think or what they think, and we can keep growing it. And if you're listening to this on Good Pods, don't forget also follow along Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, whatever your favorite is. So if you like what I do and you possibly don't see it in your feed or something, if you listen to a lot, you can still go back and find it. Because it's always there every Monday and Friday. So I'm going to jump off though. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll be back on Friday. Again, there's going to be a lot to cover. So I'll try to do it in as timely of a manner as I can, but be good to each other. Thanks for watching and listening. Don't forget to share it out. This only takes a few seconds and it helps a lot. And until Friday, my friends, peace.